Right, here we are with Florida versus Tampa Bay. The second seed in the Central in Florida and the third seed in the Central in Tampa. The biggest thing about this series is that despite Florida being the higher seed, they were heavy underdogs. There's no team in the league I would pick as a worse opponent to play in the first round than Tampa this year. This was the luck of the draw for them. They got. I feel so bad for them. So Tampa Bay, the day of Game 1, gets Kucherov and Stamkos back. Their two best players. They were $17 million over the cap limit, but the cap doesn't matter in the playoffs. So they got away with it. And it won them a series. Both were healthy for probably the first time since they got swept in 2019. That's kind of where a lot of the doubts lied, I guess, because Florida would definitely be a team that could give them a run for their money, and they did. But there was some glaring problems. So, Game 1, Vasilevsky and Bobrovsky, the goalies. Bobrovsky for Florida. Vasilevsky stays in net the whole series for Tampa. I'll give you a hint. Bobrovsky does not stay in for Florida very long. Florida disallowed goal pretty early. And then Coleman, 9 seconds later, on like a half break immediately after, just shorthanded goal. And that's basically how the series went. I'm kidding. No, it's actually a lot more complicated than that. But shortly after, Barkov scores on a power play, tie game 1-1. Barkov to Verhaeghe. Slapshot scores versus former team. That's a cool little thing there because Verhaeghe was the part of the Cup Champs run last year. And then it's 2-1 Panthers, and it's looking like, oh boy, maybe Tampa's not that much of a favorite after all. Maybe this is going to be a close one. And then it's Kucherov on the power play. Tie game. No rust. 2-2. And then it's Kucherov again, late in the second period. And it's 3-2. Lightning. So, third period starts. Huberdeau on a breakaway. He pulls like a Kucherov-esque move. 5-hole on Vasilevsky, who is very good low. Which is like, that's pretty huge for him. Huberdeau had a good series. So he scores a breakaway, ties at 3-3 in the third. And then Huberdeau, highlight reel play, goes around the whole team. And then an incredible, like, around the body pass to Owen Tippett to go up 4-3. And then Kucherov to Braden Point, who is an incredible player as well, ties it on the power play again. 4-4 middle of the third period. It's looking like a one hell of a series. This was one of the first games I actually ended up watching this year. Was Game 1 of Tampa versus Florida. This series and this rivalry, this could be like a regular meeting for them in the playoffs. This could be, this could definitely grow to something bigger than just one series, in my mind. So, oh boy. And then it's McDonough with a long, stretch pass to Braden Point with 1 minute left. He scores on the breakaway. The shots were actually tied 39-39 by the end of this game. Tampa Bay up 1-0 on just a defensive mistake. So, Game 2. We got our second goalie starting for Tampa Bay. We got Chris Driedger. And then it's Stamkos trying to pass to Killorn. Goes off a defender. 1-0 with an own goal for Tampa. Braden Point hits the crossbar shortly after. Rebound to Palat. Scores 2-0 Tampa. And oh boy, it's not looking good for Florida. But then Mason Marchment with his first career playoff goal. 2-1. They're coming back. But no. Yanni Gord with an empty netter. 3-1. Tampa Bay is leading the series 2-0. Going home for 2 games. And in my mind, I was a little bit upset that this might be a very, very short series. So Game 3, it's Huberdeau to Bennett. 1-0 Panthers very, very early. Followed by Radko Gudas with a snipe. 2-0 Panthers. So this is good. I wanted Panthers to win this game, make it a close series. And then it's Cirelli breaks his playoff drought on a rebound. 2-1 Panthers. Ross Colton's first NHL goals in the playoffs. It was a snipe. It was right over Vasilevsky's shoulder while he was on his knees, and oh my god, just a beautiful goal. I had to watch it a few times. It was very nice. So Ross Colton with that one, 2-2. And we got Ross Colton's on Tampa. It went over Drieger's shoulder, not Vasilevsky's. So Stamkos Barry's won. 3-2 Tampa. Oh boy, they came back. And then it's Wenberg on the power play. Ties it up. Point scores on the power play to take a lead shortly after. It was Kucherov to Point, and they're a pretty good duo. So Point, Kucherov, Stamkos, probably the best three players to have on your team right now. They're incredible. So that's great. So 4-3 lead for Tampa Bay. And Vasilevsky with a huge poke check save, followed by Killorn scoring. 5-3 Tampa Bay late in the second period. Ouch, if you're a Panthers fan. But then, Hornqvist, former Pittsburgh Penguin Cup champ, scores. It went off his skate, 5-4. And then Forsling ties it with 3 minutes left in the third. The most unlikely source for a goal if you're the Panthers. And then off a defensive face-off in overtime, Lomberg wins it with a chip pass on a breakaway. An incredible game. I was very, very happy with that one. I was happy the Panthers came back and won it. It gave Panthers fans something to cheer about, I think, which is nice. So now we're going to Game 4. Tampa Bay's up 2-1 in the series. And it's Cirelli on a breakaway, 1-0. And then it's Kucherov shooting, tipped by Gord, 2-0 Tampa. Oh boy. Huberdeau, obviously, been having a good series. He scores on a rebound on the power play, 2-1 Tampa still. Chernak from the point, tipped by Palat. And then Kucherov to Killorn on the power play, 4-1 Lightning with those two goals. That's mid-second. And then Killorn again from Stamkos halfway through the second, and it's 5-1. And if you're the Florida Panthers, you're not coming back from 5-1 against the Cup champ. It's not happening. That feels bad. And then it's Verkhage on a backhander, just to sort of give them something to cheer for, I guess, against his former team. But it's actually a really nice play. 5-2. And then Stamkos to Kucherov, the two, I don't even know what to call them. The rule breakers, the exceptions, I don't know. It's a fun little nickname for them because their $17 million worth of cap space just happened to come back for the playoffs. So, 4 points for Kucherov on the night, 6-2, but Tampa Bay only had 21 shots. That's 6 goals on 21 shots. Florida pulled the goalie with 10 minutes left. Well, they had a power play. It did not work, in case you didn't know. It was weird. So, easy win for Tampa. 3-1 series lead. Panthers are being outranked heavily. This is a heavyweight matchup, with one side being a heavyweight and the other side being like a child in the stands. It felt bad after that game. And then we go to Game 5, where Spencer Knight gets his playoff debut with the Panthers, which is fun. I actually like Spencer Knight. He's a good guy. If there's anything I could say about Florida, it's that their goaltending was in no way the problem this series. There's a lot more at play here. So, 1 minute in on the first shot against in Spencer Knight's career, it's Ross Colton from Coleman. Out front, no defender covering him. 1-0 Tampa Bay a minute in. Like, that's a rough way to start your playoff debut. in an elimination game by letting in the first shot, but it was not his fault. And then Huberdeau wins the faceoff. Uyghur scores immediately off of it, 1-1 halfway through the second period. So it's a little bit less of a score fest this time, which is nice. Spencer Knight's been playing good all game. Vasilevsky's been playing good all game, as expected. They're both good goalies, obviously. It's Barkov from behind the net with an amazing play. He had about 3 guys on him. He finds Marchment out front, 2-1 Florida. They take a lead, which is nice. And then Barkov's slap shot hits Hornqvist out front, banks in on the power play. 3-1 Florida, halfway through the third. And then Hedman hits a post with an empty net on their end. Frank Vatrano scores on the empty net. 4-1 Florida. Spencer Knight wins his first playoff game. He let in the first shot, and then he just shut the door. Beautiful performance by Spencer Knight. That must have been so amazing for him. The Florida goaltending is going to be good for years and years to come, I think. I have no problems with it. And then Game 6 happened. And I assume we all know what happened in Game 6 because I've been talking so much about how Tampa Bay is like the big team in this series. Tampa Bay obviously wins this game. So Johnson beats the icing. Incredible effort. Finds Maroon out front. Scores 7 minutes in. 1-0. Stamkos one-timer on the power play. 2-0. Mid-second. Braden Point highlight reel goal with like about 5 minutes left in the game. He splits the defense and dekes around Spencer Knight. It was amazing. So 3-0 with 5 minutes left in the third. Blake Coleman stopped on a breakaway with 4 minutes left, but it's too little too late. Killorn ends it on a 4-0 empty net goal. So this is a tale of two very, very different franchises right now. On one hand, you got Tampa Bay, who has now won 5 straight playoff series. None of them have gone to Game 7. The last time Tampa Bay faced elimination was before COVID in 2019, Round 1, Game 4 against Columbus, when they were eliminated with the sweep. That's the last time they were even in an elimination scenario for themselves. And since the Panthers were swept in the 1996 Cup Final by Colorado, they have now lost in the first round 6 times. They have not won a playoff series since then. And they had a 10-season stretch of no playoffs whatsoever from 2001 to 2011. It's so sad to see a team like Florida just riddled with so many missed playoffs appearances. They've never been a consistent playoff team. They had that one Cinderella run in 96, but Colorado swept them because Colorado's good at hockey. And I don't know. I don't know what I would say about Florida if they didn't fight so damn hard in this series. They had one of the closest series with Tampa in the last 2 years. It was this series, the Dallas series, and the Islanders series. All 3 of those went to Game 6. Tampa Bay won in Game 5 against Columbus. Tampa Bay won in Game 5 against Boston. So the Panthers put up a better fight than Columbus. They put up a better fight than Boston. They put up a fight. They made it close. A few more lucky bounces their way, and that could have went 7 games. I did not see the Panthers winning this series at all. Ekblad was injured, I will say that. But if there's anything I can say that's positive for these guys, the goaltending, they have 3 solid goaltenders that they could go to. They have Bobrovsky, Drieger, and now Spencer Knight, who proved himself in these last 2 games in the series. The one thing I would look out for that killed them this series, they would not defend a guy sitting in front of the net waiting for a pass. I could be standing here, the net can be here, and their defender would be way back over here. They wouldn't be covering the guy. You can't win a playoff series without making it hard on the other team. The goals that Tampa Bay scored were routine, easy, clean, backdoor passes, deflections, power play goals, breakaways. The easiest goals you can score are breakaways, backdoor passes, power play, set plays. They were not covering them. There was no defensive awareness for Florida. The goaltending bailed them out a few games. They came back in that one game down 5-3 in the third. Other than that, you got to fix your defense. Fix your defense. Your offense is perfectly fine. I really like the Panthers' offense. They could score. They could score. They can win a series if it's not Tampa Bay. I'll say next year, once Ekblad is okay, and he's fine. He's like their main character on the team, him and Huberdeau, but he got injured and he was not able to play this series. Next season, when he is able to play, I feel like they put up a fight in the first round. I feel like Florida is now becoming a consistent playoff team, starting with this season. Last season, they got knocked out by the Islanders in the play-in round. Do you know who else got knocked out by the Islanders? Washington, followed by Philadelphia, followed by almost Tampa. The Islanders are not a team you can take lightly. Florida lost to them, but they took a game from them. Florida's getting closer to becoming a good team. They're probably they are a top, I'd say top 12 or 13 in the league right now with that series alone. With Ekblad back, I can't predict that. I say they will get better over the offseason. I say they will become a top 2 or 3 team in a division for the next few years. I don't see them missing the playoffs. They're a very good team, and there's a lot to look forward to if you're a Florida fan, but this year they just got a little bit outclassed by a little bit of a... They're a cup champ. They are better this year than they were last year. They have Stamkos and Kucherov and Point and all these players. They didn't have Stamkos that entire run last year. And if you take away Stamkos in this series, that's 3 or 4 different goals that you take away from Tampa? You don't find Stamkos-esque playoff shots that often. Stamkos is... He's incredible, and he's not someone you can write off. I believe fully that Florida is becoming a better team. This was a hard series to have to play this year, especially with all the progress they made, but we have a confirmed Carolina versus Tampa Bay round 2 appearance. I'll make a preview for that at some point, but other than that, I'll be covering some of the other series as well, but this was a very it was a building block series for both teams, I think, with Tampa in the middle of a second run right now, which they very well could, and I will talk about that in the predictions for Carolina versus Tampa. But for now, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do whatever, or not, I don't care. It's just for fun anyway. Let me know if I did good. Tell your friends, I guess. If they like hockey, they could watch this. But other than that, have a good one, guys. And I will talk to you next time.